everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am still in the same outfit from my previous video because I felt like I was going to go ahead and record my January wrap up and my February TBR all in one go because I already had the books out and ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed my January TBR. Maybe you found some new reads. Maybe, we didn't like the same books. Maybe we did. I'm hoping that you left me some comments to let me know. But before we get into my February TBR, I do want to say definitely like the video, subscribe, stick around. I'd love to have you. And then without further ado, let's get into it. So these are the books that I want to read in February. I may not get to all of them, or I may add on more, depending on how quickly I can get through these books. But I'm really, really excited because I have that whole thing for myself in 2023 where I want to read through the majority of my owned TBR before I buy more books. However, I've already messed that up because I had 9 books placed on order last week. They're all coming in this week at some point, so be looking out for that haul that's going to be happening. But I am going to be weeding out. I'm going to be canceling some book boxes that I just don't find a love in those books anymore that they send me. I'm also going to try not to buy a whole lot of books and get through a lot of my own TBR. Because I want to kind of clean up my shelves and it really reflect the books that I loved, the books that I'm really excited to read. Because as I was going through those shelves, I was like, there's a lot of these books that just do not grab me. I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to read that. I can't wait to read that. I did make a shelf. You can't see it. It's at the bottom of this one. But it's a shelf that are like my most loved, cannot wait to read books that I found on my shelf. So I'm reading through those first. And then I'm going to kind of go through my shelf again after I get through that stack and look for some more books that are grabbing my attention that I'm just like, I can't wait to read. I also want to start dwindling down on series that I have started that I just haven't finished yet, kind of get those knocked out. I know that's going to be more than just 2023 of the progress that I'm going to make on that. But, I was really inspired by a few booktubers that I watch that have really kind of went through this whole change where they're like, I just want to get rid of a lot of the owned books I have that I don't want to read or that I've DNF'd or that I've 3 or 2 starred, or haven't even read yet. Just read through them, see if I want to keep them type of thing. And then also kind of wrap up some series before I start some new series, or at least if I do start a series, finish that series before I start another one. At least finish it up to that point, because sometimes, you'll get into a series that hasn't been fully finished yet. So that's kind of my goal for 2023. And so you're going to see that reflected from that video, from the books that I went through on the books that I still have to read, coming in each and every single month, where I'm trying to weed those out, but also still read my most anticipated books, which will be another video after this one of my most anticipated books for 2023 that I cannot wait to read. I was kind of waiting until like February once things are going to start getting announced. There is a rumor that in March there might be an announcement for a new Sarah J. Maas book in her Crescent City series. I'm not holding my breath for it, but I am pretty excited. Hope that comes around, but it won't be for my most anticipated read. So I may just add that little bit in there whenever I do it. So stick around so you can see a whole lot of things coming our way. But let's get into the books that I want to read in February and that I may add more to, depending on how quickly I get through them. So the first one is going to be the first book that I read. I can't hold off any longer. I have heard so many booktubers go on and on about this book, and I just cannot wait any longer. And it is The Words by A. Jade. This one is a really thick book. It's like almost 600 pages. I may end up, because I can listen to books at my work, even though though I own the physical copy, I may take the physical copy with me and then listen to it as an Audible book and then read this like on my lunches and such, kind of get through it a little bit faster because it is pretty chunky. But I can't wait to read this. All I know about this book, out of all the things that I've watched spoiler free, is about there's this guy and this girl in high school. He's kind of an outcast. She's kind of, a smart person. But I want to say that she may be like on the heavier side, possibly. I'm not sure. But anyway, he needs tutored. She tutors him. They become friends. But then I think he ends up betraying her. And, they have a falling out. And then like 5 or 10 years later, they end up kind of reconnecting, I guess, in a way. And the love story kind of goes from there. So I cannot wait to read this book. That's the reason why it is number 1 on my list. I'm gonna knock this one out. I'm pretty excited for that. And then the next one is no surprise if you saw my wrap up on my January reads, but I am also going to read Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 2 in the Skyward series. And it is going to be continuing Spensa and her group at the flight academy and their fight with the Krell and all of that. So I can't wait to get into this one either. I did listen to Skyward as an audio. I might listen to this one too because it was actually rather enjoyable. But I can't wait to read this one. And then I think I have to read 2 novellas after this one, and then I read the 3rd book, which I think is called Cytonic, and then you read the 3rd and final novella. So I think that's how it's going to go. So can't wait to read this book because I can't wait to get back into Brandon Sanderson's world. He just has that writing style that pulls you in and doesn't let you go type of thing. So I can't wait for that. The next one I found on, you'll probably see my big book haul that I had or whatever. I had gotten this at a discounted rate at Books A Million, only because it reminded me of me and my husband, which we met on Xbox gaming, playing Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, and this was like 11 and a half years ago that we met. We've been together for a little over 11 years, so definitely wanted to read this one. I wanted to get it in as quick as possible. But it is called Don't Hate the Player by Alexis Ned. This is about 2 esports gamers. She does it kind of like in secrecy. She wants to keep it away from her personal life and keep them, separate. So she doesn't want anyone to know who she is or connect her to the gaming world. Well, whenever her rival comes in, and he recognizes who she is, it just kind of goes from there. Now, granted, my husband and I weren't rivals or anything, but it's the gaming aspect. It's, really neat. I think, what was it that drew me in? Oh yeah, it's a debut author has crafted a YA combo punch of charming romance and virtual adventure that will win the hearts of gamers and non-gamers alike. So can't wait to read this one, especially for the month of February. It's kind of a love thing. So I cannot wait to get this one read, kind of, tell my husband about it, see if I get a little bit of nostalgia whenever we first met. Finally, the last book that I am going to read in February, or at least hope to read, and I had to leave it last because I think once I start reading it, I think I'm going to end up wanting to buy all of them. So it is Saga Volume 1 by Brian Vaughn and Fiona Staples. I had gotten this recommendation from a booktuber that I watched. She read all 10 volumes, because I think there's 10 volumes out already, but it is about a warring planet and moon, about a man and a woman from both of those places that fall in love, and you're actually getting this told from the perspective of their child from some time in the future whenever she's looking back. So I can't wait to read it. I mean, it's a graphic novel, it's not very long, but the artwork is actually beautiful in here. So I can't wait to read it. I feel like the reason why I left it to the end of February, because we're probably going to have our taxes at that point, and I'm probably going to end up buying all the rest of the volumes to consume, because I feel like I'm going to end up needing that. So those are the books currently in February that I have slotted to read. Now, I could end up, depending on how quickly I get through, especially the words and Starsight, if I get through those within the first week and a half of February, I'm probably going to end up adding on more books, but at least that's the aim that I'm going for. So definitely let me know in the comment below which of the books, are you most excited to hear me review about? Are any of these books that you've read or books that you want to read? Definitely check out my description box below. I have my Instagram in there and my Goodreads if you want to follow me on those. And then until next time, everyone, I hope you have a great day. Bye.